You meet Maya on the day your management says it is time for a couple collab. A big brand wants two rising influencers to fake date for a campaign. Something about relatable romance and authentic chemistry. You laugh when they say it, and Maya laughs too. That quick, nervous kind that people use when they know they're about to be judged for saying yes. She's wearing a hoodie that's clearly too big, the sleeves covering her hands, and she fiddles with her phone like it's a shield. You can tell she's the kind who's careful with her words, the kind who checks the camera angle twice before posting anything. You're the opposite, spontaneous, loose around the edges, the kind who posts first and regrets later. That's probably why they paired you together. Your first couple shoot is in a minimalist cafe that serves coffee with tiny flowers floating on the foam. The photographer asks you to hold her hand across the table. Maya laughs again, cheeks coloring slightly, and you tell yourself it's just good acting. She squeezes your fingers, pretending to be shy, and you feel the tremor in her hand. Perfect, the photographer says, the camera clicking like applause. Later, when the photos go live, the internet explodes. Comments flood in faster than you can scroll. She looks at him like she means it, the way his hand fits hers. Stop. Please tell me this isn't fake. You tell yourself it's fine. That's exactly the point. You've done sponsored posts before. You've faked smiles, fake stories, fake laughs. This is just another layer of that. But when you rewatch the behind-the-scenes video, the part where she accidentally bumps your knee under the table and says, sorry, with that small, embarrassed grin, it doesn't feel fake at all. You text her later, you good with that post? She replies instantly, yeah, you? They're eating it up. And they are. By the end of the week, your couple content is trending. You're tagged in fan edits, your names merged into one hashtag like a promise. The brand emails to say sales have doubled. Your manager says, keep it going. Maybe tease a soft launch. So you post a story her in your jacket, her laugh caught mid-frame, and caption it with a single heart emoji. It's supposed to be marketing, but the heart feels heavier than that. Maya reposts it with a shy face emoji. Within hours, it's viral again. You find yourself watching her stories more often, not for work, but because her voice has this soft rhythm to it, the kind that makes even the dullest product reviews sound like a secret. She narrates her mornings like she's talking directly to you. Coffee first, then pretending to have my life together. You smile because you get it. Pretending is your profession. The next shoot is at a rooftop picnic staged for sunset. The light is perfect, the blanket is too neatly arranged, and the strawberries look unreal. You both laugh when the wind almost knocks over the tripod. Between takes, she leans close to adjust your shirt collar. It's a tiny, unplanned gesture, but when her fingers brush your neck, something shifts. Later that night, as you're editing the video, you pause on that moment. Her smile, your reflexive glance, the way it almost looks too natural. You replay it twice, then 3 times. You tell yourself it's because the lighting was good. Maya texts you again. We look kind of real there, huh? You type, guess we're just good actors. Then you delete it. You type again. Yeah, weird. She replies with a sleepy emoji, and that's it. But you keep staring at the chat bubble, waiting for something else that never comes. The next morning, your follower count jumps by 30,000. The algorithm loves you both together. It pushes your faces into everyone's feed. You can't scroll without seeing edits of your own life, slowed down, set to soft music. Every glance analyzed like a confession. You find yourself smiling at the comments. Maybe because it's flattering. Maybe because part of you wishes it were true. During one shoot, she forgets a line and bursts out laughing. The sound spilling out so unguarded, it makes the crew laugh too. You join in, and for a moment the cameras stop mattering. You just look at her and think, I could get used to this. Then someone shouts, reset, and it all starts again. Poses, smiles, perfect lighting. But even as you go through the motions, something lingers, that unfiltered second where you weren't acting. When you get home that night, you lie on your bed and scroll through your tagged posts. The comments blur together. They're meant to be. Look at them. You close your eyes. Somewhere between all the filters and hashtags, you start wondering if maybe they're seeing something you've been pretending not to. You tell yourself it's fine. Tomorrow's another shoot, another caption, another illusion. But deep down, you know, it's already too late. Something real has slipped in through the cracks. You wake to a soft buzz on your nightstand, a notification, a mention, another tagged story that says hashtag relationship goals. You scroll through your feed half awake, squinting at the montage of your own life edited by strangers. Every smile looks a little too perfect. Every glance slowed down and looped. It's surreal watching yourself fall in love on a screen when you're not sure if you actually are. Maya texts you before breakfast. They want us to do the Q in a video today. You cool with that? You reply, yeah, just coffee first. I can't fake cute without caffeine. She sends back a laughing emoji, and for some reason, it makes you grin like an idiot. When you meet at her apartment, she's wearing an oversized sweatshirt again, her hair pulled into a loose ponytail. There's a tiny smudge of cream on her wrist from her morning pastry, and she doesn't notice until you point it out. You really do pay too much attention, she says, wiping it off with a laugh. The Q&A is supposed to be casual. Your manager told you to make it feel unscripted. You sit side by side on her couch, microphones clipped to your shirts, the ring light humming softly. She starts recording, her voice steady, her smile genuine in that practice way both of you have mastered. Okay, she says. We asked you guys to send your questions, and wow, you did. You read the first one aloud. Who said I love you first? There's a tiny pause. You exchange a quick look, both pretending to think. You're supposed to keep it light, tease, deflect, let the fans imagine what they want. But Maya tilts her head and says, he did, with this playful grin that makes your heart misfire. You laugh, trying to keep the act going. Yeah, sure. Totally me. First day, obviously. She bites her lip to hide her smile, and something about that tiny motion makes the room feel warmer. As the questions go on, you forget the camera's even there. She teases you about your messy editing. You mimic her habit of talking to plants, and somewhere in the middle of all the jokes, you realize you're not pretending to enjoy this. After you wrap the video, she scrolls through the footage, leaning close to you. The scent of her shampoo is faintly floral, lavender maybe, and it takes effort not to notice. This part's cute, she says, replaying a clip where you bump shoulders accidentally. Cute sells, you reply. But it sounds weaker than you need it to. Later that evening, when the video goes live, it takes less than an hour for it to hit 1 million views. The comments are overflowing again. Timestamps, heart emojis, slow motion gifs of that shoulder bump. You think about texting her something witty, but all you manage is, we're breaking the internet again. She replies, guess we're good at this fake thing. You stare at that word, fake. It feels heavier now, like it doesn't fit anymore. A few days later, the two of you have to attend a brand event together. Matching outfits, fake champagne, cameras flashing every few seconds. The crowd cheers when you step onto the carpet. It's noisy, dizzying, and somehow comforting because the chaos means you don't have to think. She leans close and whispers, you okay? You nod, even though you're not sure what okay means anymore. The photographers shout for another pose. Closer. Arm around her, and you obey. She fits under your arm perfectly, her head resting just beneath your chin. The flashes go off, but you barely notice. You're too busy counting the rhythm of her breathing. When you look down at her afterward, she's looking back up at you, just for a second, before both of you remember to smile for the cameras again. That night, she tags you in a post. Pretending never looked as fun. You type a dozen replies and delete them all before sending just one emoji, a small nervous heart. She reacts with a like, nothing more. But that tiny notification keeps you awake longer than you'd like to admit. You start to notice small things. The way she tucks her hair behind her ear when she's nervous. The way she hums quietly when she's thinking. The way she never finishes her iced latte, always leaving the last sip behind like a secret. And maybe she notices things too. Like how you always check her comments before your own, or how you pause mid-conversation when she laughs. You begin filming at her place more often. It's easier, quieter. She makes tea while you set up the tripod, sometimes barefoot, moving softly through the kitchen. Once, she catches you staring. "What?" she asks, smiling. "Nothing," you say, looking away. "Just wondering how you make normal look good on camera." She laughs, shaking her head. Maybe it's not the camera. That line sticks with you for the rest of the day. The next time you film, it rains. The sound against the windows mixes with your voices as you shoot a cozy stay-in vlog. There's a moment when the lights dim slightly and you're both sitting on the floor, eating takeout noodles, laughing about how bad you both are with chopsticks. The laughter fades into silence. You glance at her, she glances back, and for a heartbeat, there's no pretending. Just a quiet closeness that feels too real to be sponsored. After she leaves that night, you replay the footage. The camera caught it. That look, that soft, wordless something. You hover over the delete button for a long time, but never press it. The comments on your latest post say, "You two are glowing," and you are. You can feel it, even off camera. But in the back of your mind, a quiet thought lingers. If this is supposed to be fake, why does it feel like the truest thing you've known in a while? You scroll through your DMs, through the fan edits and reactions, and one message catches your eye. Sometimes pretending makes people realize what's already there. You close your phone, lie back, and stare at the ceiling. Somewhere between filters and feelings, something's changing. You just don't know if she feels it too. The shift starts quietly. One morning, you wake up to find your face is trending again, but this time it's not just a hashtag. Someone has made a full-length compilation video called Proof They're Actually in Love. It's 15 minutes long, carefully edited with soft music, dramatic zooms, and side-by-side comparisons of every moment you've ever shared on screen. You watch the first 30 seconds, and it's weirdly convincing. You can't even tell which parts were scripted anymore. The captions say things like, "Look at how he looks at her when she's not talking, and she leans toward him every single time. You should laugh." You should text Maya something sarcastic like, "We've officially become a documentary." But instead, you just sit there, phone in hand, heart beating faster than it should. When you finally send her the link, she replies with a skull emoji, then a pause, then "kinda cute though." You stare at the message for a long second, then type, "Yeah, guess we're good at this." But even that doesn't feel right anymore, because this isn't just a job now. It's become something else, something softer, something that lingers even when you turn the camera off. You meet up later that week for another video, a casual day in the life vlog. She greets you with a sleepy wave and no makeup, and for a moment, the air between you feels different. You're used to the version of her that's framed, edited, filtered. But this real, quiet, unfiltered Maya, she catches you off guard. "You look tired," she says gently, handing you a mug of coffee. "So do you," you reply. She smiles, curling her knees up on the couch. "Maybe we should stop trying so hard. It's supposed to be a joke, but it lands deeper than that." You film anyway, going through the motions, grocery shopping, cooking together, teasing each other over burnt pancakes. At one point, she gets flour on her nose, and without thinking, you reach over and brush it away. The camera is still recording, but the moment doesn't feel performative. It feels warm, real, that night as you're editing. You slow down that exact frame, her laugh echoing in the background, your hand still midair. You almost cut it, but something stops you. You leave it in. When you upload the video, the comments explode. The way he looks at her, I swear they're dating for real. Someone tell me this isn't just marketing. Even your manager texts. Don't confirm or deny. Just let it breathe. Engagement's through the roof. But you can't stop thinking about how you felt in that second. How her laugh still loops in your head even after you close your laptop. Over the next few days, things change between you. The way she talks to you, softer now. The way your messages stretch longer into the night. You find yourself sending memes, random thoughts, half-asleep goodnights, and she responds every time. Then one night, she sends a voice note, her voice small, a little tired. Do you ever forget what's real anymore? You replay it twice before answering? Yeah, all the time. She doesn't reply, but the silence feels like its own kind of answer. You start noticing the fans picking up on everything. Someone posts a thread analyzing your playlist. They're sharing songs. That's emotional intimacy, guys. Another person points out how your captions echo hers. It's like the internet is dissecting your private thoughts before you even understand them yourself. Still, you don't stop posting. You film late-night Q&As, playful challenge videos, little vlogs of dates that don't feel fake at all anymore. In one, you're at an amusement park. She clings to your sleeve on the roller coaster, half laughing, half screaming, and afterwards she says, I'm never trusting you with ride choices again. But the way she says it, smiling through the wind, hair tangled, makes you want to do it all over again. Later, when you both watch the playback, she's quiet for a while. Then she says, people are going to believe this. And you whisper back, what if they're right? Neither of you speaks after that. The silence sits between you, fragile but full of meaning. The next day, a fan account posts a clip from that exact moment, captioned, you can literally see the realization hit them. The video hits 1 million views in a day. Maya messages you, I think the internet's in love with us. You type, maybe we should let them be right for once. She doesn't respond immediately, but a minute later she sends, be careful with that line. Someone might believe it's real. You almost reply with, maybe I want them to, but you stop yourself, because that would make it true. That night, lying in bed, you scroll through fan edits again, not to check analytics, but because you want to feel something close to what they see. The music swells, the captions glow, your faces tilt closer in every shot. And as you watch, you realize the fans didn't create something fake. They just saw through what you were too scared to name. You close your eyes, and for the first time since this all began, you don't think about content calendars or engagement rates. You think about our Maya, the real one who hums off-key and always leaves the last sip of coffee untouched. And deep down, you wonder if she's lying awake too, staring at a screen that keeps replaying you. Because maybe pretending has turned into something that neither of you meant to start. And maybe, just maybe, it's already too late to stop. The silence after the last upload stretches longer than usual. No new comments, no new stories, no teasing emojis. It's strange how quiet it feels when you reuse to constant noise, notifications lighting up your phone like fireworks. The pause makes you uneasy, like you've forgotten how to exist without an audience. Maya hasn't texted in 2 days. Not since the amusement park video went viral. You've written 6 messages, little things like you, okay? Too much attention lately, huh? Missed your chaos today, but every time you backspace them all away. Then one night she goes live. You see the notification pop up. Maya is streaming, just talking. You click in instantly, even though it's past midnight. She's sitting in her dimly lit room, hoodie pulled tight around her, hair messy in that way that's too soft to be intentional. She doesn't look at the screen at first, just fiddles with her sleeve and says quietly, Hey guys. I couldn't sleep. Thousands of people flood the chat, spamming heart emojis and questions. But her voice stays calm low. I've been thinking about how weird it is, she says, eyes flicking toward the camera. You start something for fun, and suddenly it becomes everyone's favorite love story. Except it's not even a story, it's just two people doing their best. You watch her, heart tightening, she sounds tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, but the kind that comes from feeling too much for too long. She continues, sometimes I forget where the pretending ends, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe it's both of ours. You can see it in her eyes. She's talking to you, even if no one else knows it. Someone in the chat types, are you guys breaking up? Others flood in. What happened? Where's he? Please tell me it's not fake. Maya smiles softly, almost sadly. You ever make something so real it scares you? You close your laptop. You can't listen anymore. The lump in your throat is too thick to swallow. You sit in the dark for a while, phone screen glowing faintly beside you. You think about texting her, saying something simple like let us talk, but before you can, your notifications explode again. Clips from her live stream are already everywhere. People are posting reaction videos, theories, heartbreak edits. Someone captions a screenshot of her teary eyes. She loved him for real. By morning, the internet has decided you've broken up. The hashtags shift, hashtag fake love trends for a few hours, then hashtag protect Maya, then your name just standing there alone like a question nobody can answer. You scroll through all of it, the way people scroll through old photos after an argument, part curiosity, part self-punishment. Every comment feels like an echo you didn't mean to make. You go quiet online for 2 days. The brand emails you, worried. Your manager calls, voice tight. You need to control the narrative before it gets worse. But you're too busy replaying her voice from that stream. You ever make something so real it scares you? On the third night, you find yourself walking. No destination, just moving through the quiet streets until you're outside her apartment. You text her downstairs, not for content, just us. There's a long pause before you see her silhouette by the window. Then the door opens. She steps outside in slippers and a sweatshirt that's definitely not warm enough for the night air. You don't say anything at first. Neither does she. The world around you hums. Soft traffic in the distance, a dog barking, a breeze that smells faintly like rain. Finally, she says, I didn't mean to make that so public. I know. You answer quietly. But you meant what you said, right? She nods. Yeah, I did. You both stand there, the silence thick, but not uncomfortable. There's 1,000 things you could say. Apologies, explanations, half-truths, but none of them feel right. I don't know how to do this anymore, she admits softly. I can't tell where the pretending ends and where you start. You take a step closer. Maybe we don't have to tell the difference. She looks up at you, eyes uncertain, the kind of look that holds both fear and hope at once. If we do this for real, she says, we'll break the illusion. The internet won't forgive it. You almost laugh. When did we start living for the internet? Her lips twitch like she might smile, but she doesn't. Maybe when we found each other through it. The quiet stretches again. You want to reach for her. Just one small touch, one moment to confirm what you've both been avoiding, but you stop yourself. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you remember the contract, the cameras, the blurred line between what's staged and what's not. So you just say, I miss when it was just us. Before the noise, she whispers, me too. Then she steps back, just enough to make the space between you feel heavy. You should go before someone takes a picture, she says, and you do. You walk away, even though every step feels wrong. That night, you post a simple story. Black background, white text. Sometimes silence says everything. It goes viral instantly. Everyone has a theory. Everyone claims to know the truth, but none of them do. Because the truth is, you don't even know it yourself. You lie in bed, scrolling through clips of the two of you laughing, touching, smiling, strangers replaying your life in slow motion. You still can't tell where the acting stopped. Maybe it never did. Maybe it started to feel real because it was. You think about her live stream again. The look in her eyes when she said those words. And you know what you have to do. Tomorrow, it'll be your turn to speak. Not through a story, not through a teaser, not through a hashtag. Through something that isn't filtered or staged. Something raw. Something real. You record the video just after midnight. No lights, no script, no edits. Just your face, dimly lit by the glow of your laptop. You hit record and let the silence linger for a few seconds before you speak. Hey, you start softly, voice a little hoarse. It's been a while. Your reflection blinks back at you, eyes tired, hair messy. You could tidy up, retake the shot, pretend you're fine. But you don't, you just keep talking. I've spent the last few days trying to figure out what to say, how to explain something that probably doesn't need explaining. But I think you all deserve the truth. Not the version that gets edited into clips or turned into theories. Just this. You exhale slowly, the kind of breath that feels like letting go. When Maya and I started this, it was for fun. A project, a campaign, a story that people could follow. We knew what we were doing, the smiles, the captions, the inside jokes. It was supposed to be a job. You pause, glancing away from the lens. But somewhere along the way, we forgot it was one. You can already imagine the comments scrolling across the screen later. Hearts, crying emojis, guesses about what this means. But right now, it's just you, saying what you should have said long ago. I don't know when it happened, you admit. Maybe it was the rooftop shoot, or the day we made pancakes, or that time she laughed so hard she forgot we were filming. Maybe it was all of it. But at some point, I stopped pretending. Your voice trembles slightly. You don't try to hide it. This isn't a breakup video. It's not a confession for views. It's just an apology for blurring lines, for making you believe something we didn't even understand ourselves. But most of all, for treating something real like content. You run a hand through your hair, swallowing back the ache rising in your chest. She didn't ask for this, you say quietly. She just wanted to make people smile. I turned it into something else. And maybe the worst part is, I don't regret it. Because for a little while, it felt real. And I think that matters more than whether it started as a deal. You glance at the screen again, searching your own eyes as though you might find courage there. I don't know what happens next. Maybe nothing. Maybe everything. But if you're watching this, just know that the best parts were never staged. The way she laughed, the way she looked at me when the cameras were off, those were real. You stop recording. The cursor blinks in silence like it's waiting for you to change your mind. But you don't. You upload it, unedited, unfiltered, unplanned, unclose your laptop. Then you sit there in the dark, listening to the soft hum of the city outside, wondering what she'd think when she sees it. You expect noise, chaos, comments, speculation. But what you get instead is quiet. People start posting things like this one felt different and he wasn't performing this time. And then a message from her. No words, just a video link. You click it, half afraid. It's her sitting in the same hoodie, eyes red but calm. You didn't have to apologize, she says softly. But I'm glad you did. She smiles, a small, tired, beautiful smile. I think we forgot something along the way. That real feelings aren't supposed to trend. They're supposed to stay small, safe, personal. She pauses. I don't know if we're a story anymore, but I know that for me. It was never fake. Your screen goes still. The faint sound of her breathing fades as the video ends. You sit there for a long time, not refreshing, not replying. Just breathing. You post one last message that night, no caption, no hashtags. Just a photo of the two of you laughing between takes, blurry and imperfect. It doesn't go viral. It doesn't need to. For the first time in months, you sleep without checking your phone. And somewhere in another apartment filled with the same soft quiet, she does too. You drift through the hours slowly after that. Days blur, nights soften. The algorithm forgets your faces, the trends move on, and the noise fades into something peaceful. The brand deal ends, the followers settle, the world exhales. Sometimes you still think about her, the sound of her laugh, the way she'd stir her tea absent-mindedly, the lavender shampoo she always said was too expensive. You wonder if she ever watches your old videos, if she feels the same ache, that gentle nostalgia that doesn't hurt anymore. Not really. When you do meet again, months later, by accident, in a coffee shop where nobody recognizes you, you both laugh. No cameras, no scripts. Just the easy kind of quiet you'd both been chasing all along. And as you sit there, talking about everything and nothing, you realize something simple. The internet may have written your story, but only the two of you get to end it. So you let the world fade behind you, one soft sound at a time, the hum of the espresso machine, the whisper of her laugh, the steady beat of your own heart finally slowing. You close your eyes. You breathe. You let it all go. And somewhere between what was real and what was imagined, peace finally finds you.